happening? What the fuck's up? I'll edit out that later. Anyway, I always got to think creatively. And hooray, I've got more light mods than anybody else in the world. I've shown you this one before. I'm going to shoot a museum gig tomorrow. And I'm going to try to help in unraveling a mystery and how something was done by using some creative lighting with contrast. Usually I want diffuse lighting. Now, for certain lighting, for technical lighting, I want high contrast in this particular case. So I'm going to a museum tomorrow. I got an assistant. I'll make at least one video of me doing the photography at the museum. I'm going to be bringing my little invention. Actually, this attaches to the base of the camera here. This is a fiber optic. This actually attaches to my belt, or I'm probably actually going to have this one on the floor. But I'm going to use it to light up a deep hole. Yeah, no jokes there, right? Anyway, it uses fiber optics. And I've also got a couple mods that attach to the end of this. This is like my 4.5 foot. Hello. It's wonderful to confuse those two things, right? I'm going to be using my fiber optic whip, which I put this together, to do the first in-depth macro photography. It's a archaeological thing, and I'll go into detail later on. I'll just show you the video tomorrow of me taking pictures of it at the museum. So I don't really want to drive there tomorrow, but anyway, I think it's about 50 miles away from here, so I gotta go to. Usually don't do a shoot at a museum. I am really good at technical photography. Because I'm able to think very creatively so far as unique tasks of, how do you light or take a picture of something that's very hard to even imagine taking a picture of. And I'm uniquely adept at figuring that task out. Isn't it interesting that, according to everybody on YouTube, it's like photography is taking pictures of half-naked chicks. That's where all photography is. The best photography so far as paying gigs and interesting stuff is not half-naked chicks and landscapes. It's actually, especially weddings. It's not weddings and it's not half-naked chicks. That's the most frustrating, infuriating, unfulfilling, at least to me, photography out there. Some people think wedding photography is awesome. And then they do it for a few years, and then they get burned out on it, and then they realize that it sucks. Corporate photography, product photography. Here's something that nobody ever talks about, and I've made like a few videos on it, but here's a big two words that you never hear anybody else on YouTube talking about. Technical photography. And I'm not talking about, attaching an icon to a microscope, however that is technically technical photography, but reproduction work. Anyway, I got a couple macro lenses. This is one of my light mods that I'm going to be taking to the museum. I'll have my assistant. I'll have an assistant tomorrow. I'll have my assistant make a video of my fat butt curled up taking pictures of this deep crevice. Not that deep, it's kind of deep. Anyway, it's hard to. The point of this is actually to illuminate how these tool marks were created, or, were they tool marks? So I'm going to use high contrast penetrative lighting, which is not. I don't have the macro lens on the camera now, but macro lens, and I got 150 millimeter macro and 60 millimeter macro. Take two of those with me, and I'm going to try to uncover the mystery of how these were created. So, technical photography, something nobody talks about on YouTube, and definitely none of the top 20 or top 30 or whatever photography channels. That stuff's hard, and you got to think. You have to be able to create and invent stuff like this to do that. I mean, if you take like a skilled wedding photographer's like, you know, we want to figure out how to like photograph the inside of a vase neck that you can't see through. It's like an antique vase neck. Because we want to see the inside of it, look for markings and whatnot. You know, if you were to give that task, now I know how to do it, but if, you know, it's like, well, your camera isn't going to fit down the neck of that antique vase, and you have to be careful since it's antique. How do you actually photograph down there and on the inside? Like, wow, well, that poses a unique problem. I know how to do it. Yeah, that's what you should go ask some of the photography channels. Like, how would you photograph the inside of an antique vase? Which is not what I'm doing tomorrow, but it's actually a task that's been put to me before. How do you photograph the inside of an antique vase? Inside the neck, on the inside. How? No, I don't mean X-ray. That isn't going to show you a picture, a visual picture. It's just going to show you an X-ray, which is not very detailed, obviously. You can't fit a camera down there. A GoPro isn't going to fit down there either. You could use like one of those rectal probes, right, with the camera on the end that they stick up people's butts. That would work, but that's not high resolution either. And it's got too much distortion. So those things do work, but those are like body orifice cameras. That's something different. That would kind of work, but not that good. So anyway, I'll make a video. I'll have my assistant anyway make a video tomorrow when I go do the shoot. So right now I'm packed up and ready to go in the morning. I don't like getting up early in the morning. Especially I don't like driving distances. So I ramble on. I digress. You know, there's a lot more to photography out there than, you know, chicks and weddings. Okay? Think of that. Corporate photography, commercial photography, product photography, technical photography, architectural photography, landscape photography, real estate photography, blah, 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 you know? That's where the money is in photography, not taking pictures of half-naked chicks. You know, not that that's good work if you can get it, okay? Yeah. Bye.